Hey guys, welcome back. Right now we're gonna head over to Los Angeles with the LAPD. You guys may have seen this video that went viral last week in reference to a gentleman who was being placed under arrest and was struck by an officer. We're gonna break this down and I'm gonna explain why this could be justified.
There are still a lot of questions about what led up to the punch, but experts we spoke with say it doesn't really matter.
What did I do though? Oh!
This now viral video appears to show an LAPD officer punching a man in the face, although he seems to already have at least one hand, if not both, in handcuffs.
At least one hand, if not both. That's key. We roll on.
Now, this is everything they say now.
Immediately, the crowd reacts in shock, particularly because so many are watching smartphones rolling.
I got that on record too.
It happened at about 5 Sunday afternoon in the 1700 block of 113th Street in Watts. Neighbors telling us the man collapsed moments later. This citizen's video showing him taken away by ambulance. By Monday afternoon, LAPD posted on X. The Los Angeles Police Department is aware of an incident that unfolded from a traffic stop on July 28, 2024 in the southeast area involving use of force. The incident is under investigation and the officer involved has been removed from field duties.
Once again, we see another African-American man being viciously assaulted by an LAPD officer. This officer does not need a badge or a gun. He needs handcuffs and a jail cell for what he did.
Community activist Naji Ali is calling for LA's DA George Gascon to immediately file charges. Attorney Lou Shapiro expects other legal action will follow.
I don't think anybody looking at this video thinks that it was justified force. Even if something did precipitate it, at that point in time, it seems like the officers had the suspect restrained.
Retired LAPD Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey.
Now, check this out, everybody, before we get all into tissy. You must understand something. This, from what I can see on this video, it seems like they have one cuff on, but I can't confirm if they have the other handcuff on. And this is important. You got to understand there is what is called, what is known as resistive tension, or yes, resistive tension. And if you're placing a person under arrest and he's resisting, even if you got one handcuffed on and he's resisting and not complying to get the other handcuff on, the law says you can use physical force deemed necessary to place him under arrest, to get him to comply. Here you have a man that's at least 260 pounds. He's taller than both officers, and they're trying to get both cuffs on. Like I said, I can't tell if they have both cuffs on. And he's really not complying. Now, if that gentleman has both handcuffs secured, then this officer has a problem. But if both them hands aren't secured in them cuffs, this could be justified. It don't look pretty. I'm not gonna say that. You know, does it look professional and pretty? No. But a lot of times, a lot of things in this job don't look professional and pretty. If you don't comply, I can use whatever force necessary to effect the arrest. So he's pulling away. It seems like when the officer struck him, he's telling them to, he says something to him as to, or either get his hands back or something. I can't read his lips, but it seems like he's giving him instruction. It don't look pretty, like I said, but this could be justified. It's gonna come down to whether he was cuffed or not. And that's it in a nutshell. And I know a lot of fellow officers may not agree, but those are the facts. At least in New York, this also could be justified in a hand strike to the face. Absolutely. If you need to effect an arrest and he's not complying, you can use said force, because at some point it's gonna, if you end up having to take him to the ground, it comes down to who's stronger. If I'm fighting with you, it's coming down to who's stronger. And if you start flailing, if you got one handcuffed on you, and then you start flailing, then I have to break out my nightstick or taser. It just gets worse from there. So you are allowed to use physical force. Not deadly physical force, but you're allowed to use physical force. We roll on.
He agrees and says it doesn't matter what happened in the moments before.
That use of force was unnecessary. It was excessive, and he's probably going to lose his job behind it.
Now she's a retired sergeant. She was in LAPD. California has different rules as far as when you can use physical force. But as well as the way the New York State statute's written up, it could be justified.
Says she's disappointed, but not surprised.
Well, I don't know these officers' history, but I would venture to say that, LAPD knows who the bad actors are. Listen, when I was on the department, we had a list. It was, 36 officers that were cutting up regularly. So they know who the bad actors are. The problem is that when the community comes in and you look like me and that young man and you complain about officers' maltreatment and excessive use of force, you get foo-fooed away. And that officer lives to offend again until it makes national news. And so here we are. Thank God this young man didn't lose his life.
Okay, see, I don't know. I mean, that's her opinion. She's entitled to it. She's a retired sergeant. Like I said, she worked in LA and I didn't. But I'm just saying, to label him a bad actor based on that, I don't know. I don't know if he's automatically a bad actor. They work in a tough part of town, and like I said, I can't tell at least if he was actually complying or not. If he wasn't complying in New York, that strike is good. That strike is good. Maybe departmental rules might have an issue with it, but if he ain't complying and them hands ain't secure, that's a good strike right there. It just don't look good. And I get it, and I understand people won't understand that. But if you're in law enforcement and ever had to place a person under arrest that's, that's giving you resistance, or get one handcuff on somebody who decides after that one handcuff's on, he don't want to go to jail, and then you're both going for a ride on the ground, you would understand. I mean, the people, taking the photos and videotaping that, I understand them not approving of it because they don't understand. But that's why I'm here. That's why Sgt Kenan is here, to break down and give you understanding from a police perspective. And, we will see what transpires here. We will see what the final outcome is. But, guys, this is up for debate, it's up for discussion. If you guys want to hit me up in the chat, we can elaborate a little more. I know there's people may not agree with me, but I'm just telling you what the law says. And based on what I've had to do, my 24 years of law enforcement experience. So you guys, hit me up in the chat. I really appreciate your support. Shouts out to Leslie Kenan for recommending this video for me to dissect and break down. I appreciate it. You guys shoot me any other videos you have questions on. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a blessed night. Be safe.